Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be preparing some delicious orzo pasta the Saladmaster way. So let's start by introducing our ingredients. First is the orzo pasta. It looks just like rice, but yeah, it's pasta in the form of rice, and you can get this at any store. Second ingredient will be some minced beef. Thirdly, we use tomatoes, carrots and peas mix, some additional carrots, zucchini, rosemary leaves. You can use curry leaves as well, bok choy or any of your favorite vegetables, green pepper, eggplant, and celery sticks. Alright, so let's get started, and we're also doing this using our Saladmaster cookware, which is one of the best in the world. The advantage of Saladmaster cookware is that it does not leach any heavy metals into your food. So let's get started by preheating our Saladmaster cookware. So today we're going to be using the electric skillet. So the electric skillet acts as an oven, a fry pan, and a grill. So today we're going to be using a number of those features in our video. But let's start by plugging it into the lines first. So we're going to connect our electric skillet, and we're going to preheat it to 450 degrees. So we'll hit the temperature button and increase it all the way to 450. All right, almost there. I will just let that sit for a while. Then secondly, we're going to use our culinary baskets. So our culinary basket is a pot with some holes inside. It's like a filter, but we're going to merge it with a different pot. These are all Saladmaster products. And in the lower pot, we're going to put some water. And then we're going to put the pasta in the culinary basket on top of the pot under. And the essence of doing this is to destarch the pasta. So this is very important for those that want to control their sugar level when eating either pasta or rice. And whatever I do today with the orzo pasta, you can do the same with your macaroni or your spaghetti. So the same formula works for them. So I'll start by opening these up and putting it in the culinary baskets. Alright, so I'll just pour that in. And then I'll set my stove on medium heat and just allow that to sit for a while. All right, put that away. And then next, we're gonna check that our electric skillet is good to go, and we just do what we call the water test. We'll just put a little bit of water and see how it splashes. So the water splashes, that shows that it's good to go. And then next, we can put in our minced beef into the electric skillets. Just gonna cut this up. And we can just throw it, it's still frozen, but we can just throw it into the electric skillets. So once that's done, we can leave it for at least 15 minutes. So set the timer for, I'll set it initially for 30 minutes. All right, and I will just cover the electric skillets. Alright, so that's the first step. And then after this, while the beef is still cooking, we're going to start cutting up our vegetables. So start with the bigger stuff. Let's start with the bok choy, special type of Chinese vegetable. So these are washed, but I'll still run them through water again. Make sure they're very clean and ready to go. Just cut that up. And you can cut these as big or as small as you want them, depending on your comfort level. So just one is enough, but if you want more vegetables, you can always add an extra one. Alright, so the bok choy is ready to go. Next, we'll cut the eggplant. So with the eggplant, I cut it into 4 first from the top. Do that very carefully, especially if you're using a sharp knife. Split that up. And then just cut it through. Helps you get more pieces and makes it easier to chew when eating. So let's cut that as evenly as possible. Alright, so eggplant is good to go. Put these in my Saladmaster bowl. So next I'll cut the celery sticks. So I'm just using one this time. But yeah, you're always free to use more vegetables depending on how much vegetables you want in your food. And cut them as evenly and as little as possible. Just helps it to mix better with the food. Alright, we're almost there. Alright, and our celery sticks are good to go. So I can hear a popping sound in the electric skillet, which means it's time to pop it open partially so that the meat can grill properly. So as you can see, the meat is already cooking, but it's not done yet, so I'll leave it partially open while I continue with the other ingredients. So next, bell pepper. I'm still going to cut this in 2, and for those of you that are very sensitive to pepper or spice, you probably want to use less of the bell pepper. So just chop it into little pieces. And the bell pepper is good to go. So next is tomatoes. Same way. Do a cross at the top and then just cut it through. Pretty nice and straightforward. Alright. So zucchini is next on the line. Do a cross at the top and then cut it through nicely. Yeah, so a lot of you might be wondering, with this many vegetables, how is this food gonna taste? I definitely recommend you try it out, and you're going to be amazed how delicious the food is, even with so many vegetables. And that is the beauty of cooking with Saladmaster. It brings everything, all the taste out, and combines them together in a very beautiful and tasty way. Alright, so our zucchini is good to go. And also, instead of zucchini, you can also use cucumber. That also works for this recipe. But I always prefer zucchini to cucumber for the purpose of cooking pasta. Alright, so I have oregano leaves, and of course onions is a big deal, so we'll definitely add that to our recipe. So I'm going to quickly run these through water. And just cut them really quickly. And dump that inside. And very importantly, we have to add onions as well. So I'm quickly gonna grab that from my cupboard. So one onion coming up. Alright, so let's quickly cut that up. And the onions is all done. Quickly pack that in. So we're done cutting up all our ingredients. Instead, I'll put that away. Hello, so yeah, now we're at 15 minutes and we're going to turn over the beef. So as you can see, it's generated quite a lot of oil. We're going to be doing this pasta without adding any oil. So I'll just quickly flip this over. Look at the amount of oil that's coming out. And then now is a good time to add all our ingredients. So start by adding the vegetables. Alright, so all the vegetables are in. So I start with the fresh ones and I add the frozen ones. Frozen peas and carrots. More frozen carrots. Then we can now add our pasta at the top. Get a spoon for that. Give me a moment. Mix this carefully. And then we can just dish the orzo pasta in right at the top. Put that together. So our pasta is all in now. So the next step is to put in the chicken stock or the chicken broth. So this is one I made already yesterday, but once in a while we use from the store as well. But of course, with Saladmaster, we want to minimize the exposure to heavy metals. So we're gonna do as much in-house as possible, and then just a little bit extra from what I got in the store. And then we'll just cover it up and allow it to sit for a couple of minutes. All right, and usually once I get to this stage of the preparation, I reduce the temperature to 375 Fahrenheit. So those of you that use Celsius, you can use Google and do the translation for that to Celsius. And then time, I can increase it to 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Yeah, let's do 20 minutes. So allow that to sit. And all right, so let's see how our pasta is doing. We have 7 minutes left on the clock, and it's cooking very nicely. So next thing, we're just gonna turn everything and see how it mixes. Let's turn that around. So you notice it's getting dry at the bottom. So normally when we have that, I just put in more. You can either put in water or chicken broth, chicken stock, whatever your choice. And when you're using a lot of chicken stock, you want to minimize adding a lot of salt, because it can make your food become too salty. I'll spin that really quickly. And then at this point, I'm also going to reduce the temperature to 300 degrees Fahrenheit to avoid it getting burnt at the bottom of the pot. Then increase the time to 10 minutes. Let's stir and make sure everything mixes nicely. All right. I think we have a pretty good mix. The meat is also mixing very nicely. I'm sure if you try this, it's extremely delicious. You've never tasted anything like it. I can guarantee you that. All right, so last but not the least, we're gonna add the pasta sauce. So I normally use pasta sauce stored in bottles instead of metal, because there's less interaction with metals, which is better for your health. So I'll just turn a good portion of this. If you can't get pasta sauce from the store, you can also make your own pasta sauce. But the good thing with this pasta sauce, the Primavera sauce, is that it contains a lot of vegetables, so it makes the food even more nutritious. And for those of you that prefer, you can also add seasoning cubes. It's not required, but yeah, there are people that want to add some seasoning cube to spice up the food. So if you want to do that, you're free to do that. If you don't like using seasoning cubes, you can just use a little bit of sea salt to spice up the food. So I'm gonna add that right at the top. Add a little bit more chicken broth and just let it sit for maybe about 5 more minutes. All right, so let's check what's happening. Let's open that up. And this is a good time to stir the pasta sauce into the pasta with the seasoning. So you can just do that very nicely and gently. Carefully, gently, and nicely. Make sure everything mixes up well. So the bottom is already very dry, which is why I'm keeping it on low heat. I'm not gonna add more water, but I can reduce the temperature to 275, which allows everything to cook nicely without burning the bottom of the pot excessively. So notice I didn't add any salt. That's because the chicken broth already has salt in it from the seasoning. And then the chicken cubes do have some salt as well. But if for any reason you want to add salt, you can add salt. And notice we did not add a single drop of oil to this. The only oil in this food now is the oil generated from the meat. And if you look at the surface, it does look very oily. So let's just turn that around. The more you turn it, the better, because it allows all the ingredients to mix nicely, and it also gives you a really nice taste. And then if you're eating at different points in time, then you want the bottom to be tasting as nicely as the top. So mixing it properly does help to make everything taste nice at each section of the pot. All right, so it's all nicely mixed up, looking very delicious. So let it sit for about a minute and it will be ready to serve. So yeah, while we're waiting for that, let me quickly talk about Saladmaster. So if you're interested in getting the Saladmaster cookware, I'm going to put a link in the description. You can sign up for a free demo, and then we'll show you how Saladmaster works. And once you sign up with my link in the demo, we should be able to get you to get one of these sets, or even one piece of these items. The electric skillet is really, really good. So I definitely recommend getting it if you can do so. And yeah, we should be ready to serve our pasta right now. So let's open up. We still have 2 minutes on the clock, but yeah, I don't always have to go to zero if I notice it's done along the way. So I'm gonna leave it on, stir it up for the last time, and then show you what it looks like when we serve it up. So everything is nicely stirred already. And then we'll serve it into the plates. I'm sure you'd like to be here to taste this, but unfortunately we can't do that on camera. So if you want to have me come to your place and cook this for you, you can just sign up with the link in the demo. I'm available to everybody in the lower mainland of British Columbia to come do this in your home, or you can come to our office and see this. And then for everyone else, I can always do a virtual presentation. Thank you very much for watching our culinary adventure today with the Orzo pasta. And I wish you a good, happy new 2026. Thank you.
Transform the way you cook with Saladmaster's 316T titanium-infused cookware. Cook healthier with little or no oil, and never worry about toxic metal leaching. Preserve more nutrients and enjoy cookware built to last a lifetime. You can even earn by sharing Saladmaster with others. Book your free kitchen demo today and experience the difference for yourself.